talk about how to free yourself, liberate yourself. We're talking about liberation. I believe in my journey, God has blessed me with a colorful life to really understand how to essentially harness the power to open the doors of infinite possibilities. God has given me so much, and I'm just blessed. And I believe in my heart, I'm the luckiest man alive because of that. Because God has given me rare insight, and I really value it. And it's given me a lot of confidence, and it's helped me with my security as a man, as my own self-esteem, to like really have a certain view on the world that is unique. And people don't look at it the same way that I look at it. And because of that, it's rare. I cherish it. You know what I'm saying? I cherish it, and I don't take it for granted. And I realize that it's my time to speak about it and just express it, because, you know, maybe the way I view the world can help others. Give some people some clarity, some insight and some outsight for the outside world, you know? I think the greatest trick that's pulled upon people is making people not realize that they are God. I think that's one of the things, and that might sound a little confusing the way I said those words, but I think the number one trick that I think the number one way to control the people and keep people controlled and not have that inner power is to essentially tell people that God is in the sky. That is the number one control mechanism. Once they trick people into believing that God was outside of them, people lost their self-esteem. People lost their faith. They couldn't truly believe in themselves. And when you can't believe in yourself, you become controllable. You become controllable. And I believe that they wanted that to happen is because you need less chiefs, more Indians, less chefs, more cooks. You gotta have more cooks, because if there's too many, that's at least the mindset of people who want to stay in power. You know what I mean? People who typically like to kind of who want to abuse the power. But you know what? I think that's just the way the world has always been. You know what I mean? But really, that's the tactic, I believe, is the number one tactic, was that. And when it comes to real world, actual, like, what the world looks like, when I look at the world, people are enslaved mentally, and they don't know how to free themselves, and that comes from not knowing they have the power. And I believe the number one trick that it all leads to this, here's the real truth. People do not realize they have the power to control their reality, and their destiny is literally in the palm of their hands. If you believe that God is outside of you, you won't truly believe that you can be what you truly want to be. Like, it's like a certain type of energy where you're the type of person who grabs life by the fucking steering wheel. You grab life like a fucking horse, and you fucking tell it, this is where it's gonna go, and this is where we're going, and you're able to create your world. And just how you see it, how you view the world, and you're able to create that. You know, it's interesting, Albert Einstein even said, imagination is everything. This is Albert Einstein, the smartest man in the world. He said something as simple as that. A phrase like that, imagination is everything, is gonna go over everybody's heads. They're gonna say, that sounds cute. That's like something you say to some kids, or like you put it out on a high school quote, you share that like at some art school. But this is Albert Einstein, and this is one quote that has lived, has stood the test of time. So if that's the quote, then what does he mean by that? Imagination is the image in the mind. The image in the mind is the visualization of life's coming attractions, of how you see reality. And what you see, you perceive, creates your reality. You create. This is the power that the world does not realize they have, and it's been convoluted and turned into the new age and philosophy and laws of attraction, and it's got this like weird reputation, and it's been like just destroyed in a lot of ways. And so a lot of people, you know, they're not going to be hip to it. And because so many people are so far in the program of the opposite direction, when you tell people this type of information, they think you're crazy, or it sounds ridiculous, or they only take it as a grain of salt. They take it as a grain of salt. And I'm like, no, bro, I'm literally giving you the fucking genie, the magic genie This is the genie, like the little lamp. You're getting the magic wand. You're getting a fucking magic wand, man. Like imagine out of 100 people, you're the one person who has a fucking magic wand in your hand. And no one knows that you have this power. It's an immense level of power when you know that, and when you know this, that you are the conscious creator of reality. That's the secret. Now, how do you keep people controlled so they don't know how to imagine their future, their visualization? You keep them focused on the past. You keep them focused on the past, and you give them the victim mentality. The victim mentality is literally anti-laws of attraction. It's anti-man. I mean, actually, it is a manifestation, but it's anti-conscious creation. Anti. When you have a victim mentality, you're basically giving that power away. You're giving it away. You're giving it away. And here's the catch about the victim mentality. The victim mentality is so insidious that when people have it, and you call it out, and you show them that they have this problem, they will defend their victim mentality. They will defend it. They will yell at you. They will be upset with you. They will take it as offense that you're calling them out on their issue. And essentially what they're doing is they're defending the very belief systems that are taking away their power. They don't see it. Their brains are on backwards. You literally have to take this person's brain and like cut their head open and just like, and that's literally what the people who control the world have done to the world. This is how they control the world. Take their brains, flip it around. How do you control society? And this is why society is the way it is. You know, you have the people who control the people at the bottom. You got to keep the people controlled at the bottom. Have them thinking backwards. Have them thinking backwards and let them think backwards is normal. And forwards is crazy. That's how you trick the people. That's how you control people. And so, unfortunately, I think this is just the natural order of society and humans and through biology. Because human beings, we are hierarchy-based creatures. And in an animal kingdom, there's an animal kingdom and there's a human kingdom. In the animal kingdom, who's at the top of the food chain? The lion. The lion works the least. They do the least. They basically, no one fucks with them. And the king lion works the least. Okay, I'll break it down like this. This is, you know what? I'm going in another direction. Let me go focus on the conscious reality. Because that's more conspiracy. It's not conspiracy, but it's just more, fuck it, I'll talk about it. Here's what it is. You gotta keep the people at the bottom controlled. You can't have the people thinking that they can control their realities, because if they can control their realities, they can move up the pyramid. You gotta keep them on the bottom of the pyramid. Keep them thinking backwards because we need them working for us. The pyramid serves as the power structure of human civilization. The people at the bottom work the hardest and they get least. They get the least, and the people at the top work the least and get the most. They get the lion's share. That's why they call it a lion's share. So the people at the bottom are thinking backwards. This is why when you look at most of society, people feel like they don't have control over their lives. They feel like they don't have control over their destinies. This is why it's the victim mentality, and like everyone has a sad story. It's like this rising depression, anxiety, wage slavery, essentially what people are living in. And it's pretty wild. And so the media is a perfect tool to keep people distracted so they're not thinking about these things, and they're not thinking about how to gain these skills. And when you keep people confused, they won't understand, like, yo, here's the truth. A video like this may sound wrong, right, up to them. And so I'm focusing on the wrong thing. Let's focus on the conscious creation of the reality. Let's focus on the solution. Because I know I just went on a crazy tangent. Let's focus on the solution. You have to create your own reality. In order to create your own reality, essentially what you have to do is you need to be aware. You need to raise your level of awareness, and you need to look at yourself from a bird's eye view. In order to create your reality, what you have to do is you need to first step outside yourself and see yourself from a bird's eye view. See who you are as a person, as a conceptualized version, the identity of what you are at that moment. See yourself and understand where the identity of what you are is embodying, how the actions that you're taking, the things that you're thinking, and the energy that this version of you is carrying. And when you see that, you can then start to recreate the version of you. The version of you that you are in the current reality must fit the reality that you want to be living in, essentially. So you have to basically hypnotize yourself into a new school of thought. You need to hypnotize yourself into a new vantage point of how you view the world. You have to create new belief systems, new thought patterns. Like if your brain was like a computer, you need to create new thought patterns. People think differently than other people. People who have different things, everybody thinks differently. This is how some people are successful. The person who succeeds and the person who fails, they're both thinking, but one is thinking different from the other. And that's the only thing that's separating the two. A lot of times, it's the only thing that's separating the two. And so, a lot of times, people think that they can't do certain things, but it's like, dude, it's your thinking. You think some people are just bestowed by some divine thing, but it's like, really, it's just they're thinking differently. Change your thinking. And so, it starts with a full revolution of the self to truly manifest a new version. You have to truly revolutionize yourself. It's the only way to make it happen. The only way to truly manifest a new reality is you have to revolutionize who you are currently. The current reality, if it doesn't fit the reality that you want, you have to revolutionize yourself. Revolution. Like you literally have to go on a revolution on the self. And it can't be some easy little thing. Like I feel like people do it. See, the reason why manifestation doesn't work for most people is because they approach it like a weekend warrior. You know what I mean? Like, let's sign up for karate on Saturdays. We'll show up at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and then we'll get donuts afterwards, and we'll do it for an hour, and we'll take pictures, and we'll do it with our friends. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's too mainstream. You kind of got to be a little more extreme about it if you truly want to make it manifest. You can't approach it like on some amateur shit. You got to go all the way in. And that's why people typically aren't able to do what they want to do, is because they're, like I said, they're dabblers. And so I recommend anything that you want to do, if you want to manifest anything, whether it's more money, better opportunity, a specific person, relationship, a certain, you can manifest a new aura. That's the first thing you need to do is manifest a new you. And that's one thing they don't talk about. People are talking about things they want outside of them, but then you got to talk about first you have to talk about manifesting a new current reality, a new version of you. Your self-image, how you see yourself, your beliefs. And the simplest way to do that is to manifest a version of you. And you do that through exercises, constant exercises, repetition on a daily basis of essentially putting yourself into the version of who you want to be. And it's almost kind of like a game in a lot of ways. It's kind of fun. People sometimes struggle with it because they think it's weird. Like I had a friend once, I was talking about affirmations, and he's like, yeah, I was doing affirmations once, and I did it, and I was looking in the mirror, but I stopped because I felt weird. And I was like, you felt weird because you were talking to yourself in a certain way. He's like, yeah, I was talking to myself. Talking to myself felt weird. And that's where I was like, okay, see, this is what I was saying earlier in the video. We have been programmed to think backwards. This is the backwards thinking in our society. People who are thinking backwards don't think they can control their reality. People who are thinking forward control their reality. Here's the number one thing with talking to yourself and saying affirmations. The number one trick they told you was that talking to yourself was crazy. Now let me ask you this. What is something that we're supposed to do for ourselves? Are we supposed to respect ourselves? Yes. Are you supposed to love yourself? Yes. Are you supposed to self-reflect? Yes. Accept yourself? Yes. Take care of yourself, the self. You have to give to yourself, forgive, all this stuff about yourself. But then when you say, yo, that guy or that girl over there is talking to himself, he's crazy. Don't you think it's kind of crazy that you're labeled crazy if you talk to yourself? You can't talk to yourself. That is crazy. No one's ever thought of this. You're supposed to talk to yourself. That's the secret, ladies and gentlemen. You have to program yourself so whenever you're alone, You can't go on autopilot. That's what you're probably doing. That's what everybody does. Naturally, we go on autopilot. You know what helps us go on autopilot? Social media, television. We go on autopilot. We just stop thinking. We stop and we let something think for us. Tell us what to think. Give us a perception. Give us beliefs. Give us things. The goal is, when you're alone, you need to be talking to yourself constantly. Like, bro, like, you are fucking in, this is like a big, like you're Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson, bro. Like you're Cus D'Amato and Mike Tyson. You have to be like, literally, if you truly want to go extreme with it, you have to be giving yourself next level fucking belief, bro. It's the only way. You gotta give yourself next level belief, and you have to give it to yourself. And the way you do that is through the syntax, the communication that you're giving yourself. Certain communication that creates feeling and emotion. This is what I was talking about Albert Einstein. He said imagination is everything. He also said E equals MC squared. E equals MC squared is something everybody knows. It's like popular, but no one actually knows how to apply this. He literally is giving you the secret code to manifestation. E equals MC squared, which is essentially matter. I forget what it was. Basically, everything is fucking energy, and you need to just pay attention. There's no matter. There's no matter. This is not matter. This is just energy. So for me to manifest this, you have to be vibrating at the energy of what you want it to be. So what you have to do is you need to be communicating in a way that's creating energy within yourself, that's transforming your subconscious mind to have new beliefs, so that you raise your vibration. You raise your vibration, that creates a new identity. As your vibration raises, your consciousness raises. As your consciousness raises, your awareness rises. When your awareness is awake, now you can start seeing synchronicities and opportunities in the matrix. Things that you wouldn't be able to see if you were vibrating at a different level. You wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see the opportunity to meet that person or get that business deal, or like come up with like if you have a plan, you want to go somewhere. Maybe here it is. This awareness, coupled with a vision, a purpose, a dream, now gives you basically the map to basically manifesting something. You say you want something, and then you raise the vibration, and then it's like the opportunities present themselves, and then you take that one, you jump here, boop, 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 and then it's like it manifests, and it doesn't happen. See, the things don't happen right overnight. But if you say you want a certain car or a certain person, and you think about it, it will start happening that day. The next day, your awareness, you will start seeing little things. But it's almost like it's like a paper, a light, and then the paper has a little poke through it. You know what I'm saying? A little light comes in. It's like you gotta keep poking the paper so the light comes through. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I'll break it down more simply and more scientifically. You gotta basically raise your vibration. You gotta basically raise your vibration, and you have to recreate your identity, which is, going to basically make you a new person. Because everything you want, if you were that person, you would have that thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you want $1 million, you have to psychologically be a millionaire. You have to already be there psychologically. If you were there psychologically fully, it's like you'd have $1 million in your hand. It's just what it is. And so, like me, I am a millionaire. I'm a millionaire, you know what I'm saying? I say it every day. Like I wanted to say, I want to be a millionaire. I have to do this. I was gonna relate it to myself, but I'm already past that shit. Every day I'm telling people I'm a millionaire. I always do that. I always say it. I'm always constantly saying it. It's just what I say now. It's because I'm in the process of it. So it's just happening. You're gonna watch another video in the future and I'm gonna be talking about how I manifested it. Because I'm already in the process of already thinking that I'm there. You know what I'm saying? And so here's another thing. This is where the next question is. Well, I don't want to be fake. I don't want to act as if and be fake, and I'm not that, so I can't say that. I don't want to lie to myself. But it's like Albert Einstein said, imagination is everything. This current reality is literally just, it's not real. It's just that this 3D reality is literally just, this present moment is gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's just and it's all just a manifestation of all the thoughts prior to that. So the only thing that's really truly real is what's next. And that's really how your brain is seeing the picture, the imagination of it. And so you have to be there already. And so the reason why people struggle with doing that is because they're afraid of everybody else saying, well, who do you think you are? Why do you think that about yourself? You're not allowed to think like that, and you're not allowed. So now we have what we call social laws, social rules that stop people from, this is another thing that stops people from manifestation. They're afraid of raising their vibration and their level of belief within themselves because that will create a new reality, or create a new identity. When you have a new identity, it's going to naturally, possibly challenge the environment that you're currently in. This is how people get locked in their identities and why they're not able to manifest. It's out of the courage. They lack the courage. It takes courage to manifest, to take that power. Because when you create a new identity for yourself, the people around you are going to be challenged for that. They're going to be challenged. They'll be challenged. And so that's what holds people back, because they're afraid of boosting their identity, their belief for who they are. They're afraid of that. And when you're afraid to they're afraid of being seen as different. But it's about how bad, and that's when it comes down, it's like, how bad do you truly want it? Do you believe it? And those who do want what they want will disregard that. They will trust it. And there's ways, I truly believe it's so possible to have the greatest life ever. I believe that we have the power to make life so much more beautiful for ourselves in every capacity, when you could think so much bigger about it all, when you truly understand all this. You know, overall, the reason why I'm saying all of this is because I believe that it's possible for us to create a utopian society. A utopian society is an idea, right? Where it's basically at peace and there's just less suffering in the world. We can create a utopia. Maybe it's not the perfect society, but it's like better than what it is. Can't we make things better, right? Overall, when you think about an overarching idea, and if everybody knew this, the world would be a better place. But it starts each one teach one, you know? But one person at a time. To manifest, you have to raise your level. You have to match your identity to the reality that you want to have. In order to match your identity to that, you need to essentially upgrade your frequency, your vibration, in the way that your energy is permeating through you. And you have to do that repetitiously over an extended period of time. It takes essentially 21 days to alter, or to really start cracking the pavement of altering an identity, according to Psycho-Cybernetics, Dr. Maxwell Maltz. But it takes 3 months, about 100 days, to truly change somebody. So essentially, this is why people don't really manifest, is because they kind of like do their affirmations in the morning, and they kind of like do it every now and then. You gotta be like, you gotta invest in a program. This is basically what I help people do. Create a program for them, and I hold them accountable, create a community, give them like the tools to essentially do this for themselves, but hold them accountable, like a gym coach. And that's essentially giving them a 3-month program for identity shifting to manifest the new reality. This is what it's all about. It's basically, you have to do it repetitiously, because it's like anything, it's like muscle memory. And if you really want to get down to the mechanic, it's new brain waves, new thoughts flowing, a river of thoughts. If the thought is like, this thought pops in, it's like, and usually you've been thinking the same way for probably a few years. You know what I mean? Or maybe if you've been struggling with the same problem for years and years and years, the way to break it is we have to start inputting new thoughts, and you need to keep those thoughts going repetitiously, so that it gets to the point where the brain just naturally thinks that way. Once it starts doing that way, you just start naturally becoming that person. And so this is how people basically, you know, recreate themselves. You recreate yourself, and that's how you start to manifest. And so the reason why I think manifest also gets a bad rap is because we look at it as like waiting for things to happen, luck happening. But, you know, for me, I look at it as like, there's a whole nother, you gotta jump back even further. You gotta look back at it as even thinking from the perspective of, yo, not only do I have the ability to manifest the reality, I have the ability to take action and manifest myself, my identity. I am an action taker. Now, this is the secret. This is another secret. Everybody says the law of attraction. They'll be like, but you gotta take action. You gotta take action, bro. And it's like, yeah, that's true. And this is why they took it out of the book, because action isn't sexy. I mean, action is sexy, but it doesn't sound attractive to people. Action is not attractive to the weekend warriors. And if you're looking to sell an idea in a book, in a culture, you need to sell it to them in a way that makes it easy, because you want to mass market. This is why it's like they went triple platinum. They went triple platinum with that shit. They went diamond. It's like a diamond album. So in order to do that, you got to be kind of popular. You got to really be safe in a lot of ways. You don't have to do that, but that's the way they did it. They went mainstream, essentially. Sold out. Took the truth out. And the truth is, and the word attraction is the word action. So you got to take action, right? Now that's where people they struggle with, because action can sound scary. It sounds like force and effort. Here's how you manifest. I don't like the word, let's change the word manifest. How you consciously create a new reality that is you, that is the person who takes action. That's all you got to do. You need to shift your identity to be somebody who's a natural action taker. And that's how you create new thoughts. There's affirmations for that where it's like, I am a natural action taker. I naturally take action. I love to take action. I love to face my fears. I love to face my fears. I love when something scary happens, and I love to step up to it. It feels good. Fear is my friend. I love fear. I face fear. Oh my gosh, I love taking calculated risks. I love just going for it. I love being that guy. I love it. Now talk about that kind of power. Now you program yourself with that kind of thinking, okay, and you are a conscious creator of reality. You're not going to be afraid of a motherfucking thing. Everything is yours. You can do anything you want. You're not afraid. You're not afraid. You're not afraid of rejection. You're not afraid of falling down. You're not afraid of losing. You're not afraid of falling back. You're not afraid. That level of courage. And what you need to do is you need to recreate your identity to essentially, if you really want to solve your problem for good, you need to essentially recreate an identity for yourself that literally every single thought that you think is for your greatest good. There's nothing in your brain that can even, for a split second, create any form of character, behavior, or reality that would attune to your self-sabotage. Nothing. The way you think is literally designed to make you the healthiest version of yourself, the wealthiest version of yourself, the strongest version of yourself, the most powerful version of yourself, the most happiest version of yourself, the most luckiest version of yourself, the sexiest version of yourself. Can I keep going? The flyest version of yourself, just like the most fortunate version of yourself, the youngest, most vibrant version of yourself, your little entire identity and how you view yourself. Every thought that passes through your brain, you need to literally design your brain to look at yourself like that and your reality like that. And if you do that for long enough, you will wake up one day and you'll just literally have the greatest life ever. Life is a game. It's like a movie. And at the end of it, you'll be able to look back on it and be like, how was it? The goal is to look at this, design and manifest this entire thing to be the greatest fucking life ever. Like, that's when I look at life, I'm like, yo, my goal is to make my life the greatest life ever, the coolest, best life ever. Everything I have. When it's all said and done, they'll say Jakarta had the best life. He was the healthiest. He was the happiest. He had the best sex. He looked the coolest. He stayed the youngest. He lived the longest. He had a great family. His career was a success. Everything went amazing. He was incredibly lucky. And in the end, it was a happy ending story. And he lived happily ever after. I've already spoken that into existence. I say it every day. No one does this. I'm like, yo, think about that. But it's like, why not? I mean, you know what? To the pushback, it's like, well, why would you not want that for yourself? You like struggling? You like a shitty life? You like shit not being dope? You enjoy not having what you don't want? That's the trick. And the thing is that we get told these things and then it becomes normal. We think it's normal. We think it's normal. It's not normal. I mean, it's normal if you think it is. But when you think like me, I think it's not normal. And I'm like, you know what? How can I view my entire reality as everything happens for me? Every single thing that happens for me. If I miss a red light, it was fortunate for me. It happened for me. Or like if I miss a red light. If like I hit a red light, like let's say something happens, you're late for something, or this happens, or anything that happens that you think is misfortune, you gotta just see it as it's literally for you. Never say it happened to you. You have to, this is a part of the revolutionizing of your identity. Go back and watch this whole video because I literally just gave you guys the fucking secrets to the universe. I gave y'all the secrets to the universe. I'm like a magic genie. I just popped out of the fucking lamp and I'm literally giving you guys the codes. Watch this video. This video is fucking worth trillions of dollars. I'm serious. Anybody knew this knowledge and learned how to apply it, you literally can create whatever you want. Whatever you want within the means of like reality. I mean, if you wanted to fly for long enough, you probably can manifest the fucking blueprints to create a jetpack or something. You'll fucking just, you know what I mean? If you really wanted to fly, you're like, I want to fly, I want to be able to fly, and you thought about it for long enough, you will be the person who designs the jetpack. You will be the guy in the backyard with a fucking jetpack. And then you'll fucking find a way to there's gonna be a guy that does that. We're gonna be floating or something like that. Something like that's gonna happen. I don't know. But that's the extent to what it is. Anything is possible. Think about this. I'm gonna tell you this. This whole video is legendary. I'm about to say some more legendary shit. Think about the person who invented fire. The first invention, right? Fire. Back then, when the sun went down, you went to sleep. When the sun came up, that's when it was time to go. You couldn't stay up all night. There was no party like that. It was dark. That's how it was. But then there was that one guy who looked up at the fucking sky and was like, yo, imagine if I could get a piece of that in the palm of my hands. Imagine if I could get a piece of that in the palm of my hands. Imagine. And he fucking manifested it. He manifested it. He fucking thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And he fired. So in life, anything is possible when you believe. And so how do we make this even stronger? This video is so legendary. You bring God into it all. God, the understanding of God. And this is why God is so important. Because the understanding of God, consciously, sometimes we're a little confused. We know God is the greatest thing of all time, but then we're confused. Maybe it's a little mysterious. We don't know what it is. So I think when you're confused about it, the power that God can have on you gets diminished. You have to truly understand its power, or his power, or its power, the power of you, essentially. Here's the secret. When you understand the omeganess of God, and everything is possible, you start to understand that as a conscious creator, God is the ultimate creator. And so if we are creators, then that means that we are gods. And because that we are gods, I am God. Because I am God, you are God. We are God. We're probably inside of God's brain, in his mind. And so if you know that you are God, God is within you, God is in you, and all things are possible, that means anything you imagine and you want to create and you want to manifest, you will believe that it was possible. And the possibility, and you know that, will allow you to stick to that belief. It'll give you the ability to stay with it and repeat it to yourself and go for it. And over time, whatever you want becomes manifested into your reality. And you wake up and you're there. That's how it is, baby. That's how it is. I just gave y'all some motherfucking fire wisdom. This video will change somebody's life. This video right here will change your life. And I can keep going with it. I can keep going with it. The actionable advice is this. You need a massive revolutionary action plan for yourself. To grab your destiny, your identity, everything that makes you you, everything that makes your life. You have to revolutionize your perception of the past. your perception of your current reality, and you have to revolutionize your perception of your future. And you have to revolutionize your entire form of thinking from a 360 angle and see yourself in the greatest light and everything in your life as a serving purpose of your greatest good. Everything. And you have to see yourself as, in a lot of ways, like perfect. Think about the idea of a perfect person. Someone who's perfect probably is so fucking confident in themselves that they're humble. I would say someone who's perfect is like, has like supreme self-belief in themselves, and they have that childlike humility. They never it doesn't overcome them. Like, that's the perfection. If you can achieve that undeniable self-belief within who you are, and you're able to couple that with supreme humility and love and compassion for God and for the world. And like, when you have that, you just become like a superhero, a superhuman. You become like Jesus, Superman, you know what I mean? You become a next level being. That's like really where it's at. Once you get that level, you've got your frequency there. And so that's really the goal. You know what I mean? Knowing how to maintain that. And it becomes a natural thing as you consciousness expands. You know what I mean? So this video is fire, y'all. I'm telling you, whoever watched this whole video, I know I just changed somebody's life. I know I just enlightened you to think a whole nother perspective. Go back and rewind this video, because y'all gonna be watching this video for years to come. Y'all gonna be rewinding this video. Y'all gonna be like, yo, I can't believe he said this, he said that. Oh my gosh, everything he's saying, he's basically giving me the keys to literally creating the life of my dreams. He just gave me the keys. I got the keys. All right now, peace.